Shabbat Yom, brothers and sisters, Hebrews in Jamaica, the Caribbeans to west, to the four corners of the earth scattered greetings. This Shabbat lesson we're going to title it, Who is the Angel of Yahuah? Who is the Angel of Yahuah, brothers and sisters? Throughout the Old Testament, we routinely encounter the mysterious character who goes by the title the Angel of Yahuah. By looking at the numerous appearances of the individual, we can piece together clues as to his identity. The first time the angel of Yahuah is introduced, he makes an appearance to Hagar, the servant of Avram, while Sarai in Bereshit, Genesis 16, 7-13. So let's look at that, brothers and sisters, right? Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screen. We're going to take it from Bereshit 16, 7-13. Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screens on the screen. Bereshit 16, 7-13. That's Bereshit, Genesis 16, 17-13, right? And the angel of Yahuah found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain in the way of Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of Yahuah said unto her, Return to thy mistress, and submit thyself under her hands. And the angel of Yahuah said unto her, I will multiply thy seed exceedingly, that it shall not be numbered for multitudes. And the angel of Yahuah said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael, because the Adonai had heard thy affliction. And he will be a wild man, his hand will be against every man, and every man's hands against him. This is fulfilling now as we speak. Everybody's against Ishmael, and Ishmael's against everybody. And he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren, and he shall call the name of Yahuah that spake unto her. Thou, Eliyahu, seest me, for she said, Have I also here looked after him that seeth me? Wherefore the well was called Beer Lahari. Behold, it is between Kadesh and Bered. Right, brothers and sisters, if you keep looking at the screen, you will see a map of where Kadesh and Bered is. As you can see, clearly is in Northeast Africa and the surrounding area, Asia Minor area. Right, Northeast Africa, brothers and sisters. Right, so I just want to give you a visual of where Kadesh and Beret is, right? Okay. So what is particularly interesting here is that the angel of the Adonai speak as though he is distinct from Yahuah, yet also presume himself to be the very mouthpiece of Eliyahu. In fact, he speaks in the first person and says, I will increase your descendants. This is very peculiar. What more, in verse 13, Hagar identified the angel of the Adonai as Eliyahu, who sees me. The second time we encounter the angel of Yahuah, he again speaks to Hagar regarding her son Ishmael in Bereshit 21, right, 17-18. So let's look at that, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the same Bereshit, Genesis 21, 17-18. And Eliyahu heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of Eliyahu called to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, What aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for Eliyahu had heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation. You see, brothers and sisters. Notice that again in verse 18, the angel of Yahuah speak, using the first person, for I will make him into a great nation, thus making himself the very mouthpiece of Eliyahu. The third occasion on we encounter the angel of Yahuah in the incident involving Avram and Isaac on Mount Moriah, just as Abraham is about to offer up his son Isaac as a sacrifice unto Yahuah. We read that in Bereshit 22, 11 and 18. So let's look at that, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, so the map on your screen is the location of Mount Moriah, where the first temple was built, and the second, notice, is south of Jerusalem, in the land of Benjamin and Judah, most of Benjamin, right? They call it aka Temple Mount. Here on the screen you can see a clearer image and detailed description of the location in the second map you see on your screen, brothers and sisters, right? So all those places you see is south of Jerusalem, where the land of Benjamin and Judah is, right? So the land of Benjamin is key to these last days. Please research and look through my archives. The land of Benjamin, right? It's very, very interesting video. Check it out, brothers and sisters, right? Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screen. Bereshit 22 and 18. That's Bereshit 22 and 18. And the angel of Yahuah called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest Eliyahu, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horn. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for the burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Yahuah Yireh, as it is said to this day, in the mount of Yahuah it shall be seen. And the angel of Yahuah called unto Abraham out of heaven the second time and said, By myself have I sworn, saith Yahuah, for because thou hast done this thing, and thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So when the Most High said, By myself have I sworn, in verse 16, I mean there's no other Elohim besides him, there's no other Elohim above him or before him. He's only Eliyahu, so he's by himself. So that's what it means, you see, brothers and sisters, right? So again, the angel of Yahuah uses the first person and assumes himself to be none other than Eliyahu himself. In verse 12, he states, You have not withheld from me your son, your only son. The angel also claimed to be the one who gave Abraham the instruction to sacrifice his son Isaac, and that I will surely bless you and make your descendant as numerous as the stars in the sky, and as the sand and the seashore on the seashore. The fourth occasion which we encounter the angel of Yahuah is in Bereshit, Genesis 32, in which Jacob famously wrestles with Eliyahu in verse 1 and 2. Right, so let's check that out. So Jacob also went on his way, and the angel of Yahuah met him. When Yaakov saw them, he said, This is the camp of Eliyahu. So he named that place Mahanaim. Right, so we're going to look at the Bereshit, Genesis 32. We're going to take it from 22 to 31. Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screen. Bereshit 32, 22, 31. And he rose up the night and took his 2 wives and his 2 women servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford Jabbok. And he took them and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Yaakov was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, Let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. And he said unto him, What is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, Thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with Eliyahu and with men, and hast prevailed. And Jacob asked him, and said, Tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name? and he blessed him there. And Yaakov called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen Eliyahu face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh, brothers and sisters, right? So in this passage, Jacob's names the place Peniel, saying that it was because I saw Eliyahu face to face, and yet my life was spared. Hosea 12:4-5 also identified the angel in this scene as the Adonai Eliyahu himself, right? The first time we met the angel of Yahuah is in the burning bush appearance to Moshe in Exodus 3, right? So we're going to look at Exodus 3, 1-6. Okay, brothers and sisters, look at the screen. Shemot Exodus 3, 1-6. That's Shemot Exodus 3, 1-6. Now Moshe kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of Eliyahu, even to Horeb. And the angel of Yahuah appeared unto him in a flame of fire, right, out of the midst of a bush, and he looked and beheld, the bush burned with fire. The bush was not consumed. And Moshe said, I will now turn aside and see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. And when Yahuah saw that he turned aside to see Eliyahu, called unto him out of the midst, and said, Moshe, Moshe. And he said, Here am I. Right? And when Yahuah saw that he turned aside to see, Eliyahu called unto him out of the midst of the bush, and said, Moshe, Moshe. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nigh hither, put off thy shoes from thy feet, for the place whereon thou standest is holy ground. Moreover, he said, I am the Eliyahu of thy father, the Eliyahu of Abraham, the Eliyahu of Isaac, and the Eliyahu of Yaakov. And Moshe hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Eliyahu. Curiously on this occasion, the angel of Yahuah said, Eliyahu are used interchangeably. The angel of the Adonai here describes himself as the Eliyahu of your father, the Eliyahu of Abraham, the Eliyahu of Isaac and Yaakov. The angel of Yahuah also appears to Balaam in Numbers 22, and in similar fashion to Joshua. We also encounter the angel of Eliyahu 4 times in the book of Judges 2, 1-4, brothers and sisters. So let's look at that. Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at the screen. Judges 2, we'll take it from 1-4. And the angel of Yahuah came up from Gilgal to Bocham, and said, I made you to go up out of Mizraim, Egypt, and have brought you unto the land which I swear unto your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. And ye shall make no league with inhabitants of this land. Ye shall throw down their altars, but ye have not obeyed my voice. Why have ye done this? Wherefore I also said, I will not drive them out from before you, but they shall be as thorn in your sides, and their gods shall be a snare unto you. And it came to pass, when the angel of Yahuah spake these words unto all children of Yashara'el, that the people lifted up their voice and wept. How sad that is, brothers and sisters. The scripture says it's better to obey than to sacrifice, yet we continue to sacrifice daily for stupidity. Why? That's the question you should ask yourself. Why? So after they wept, brothers and sisters, in verse 4, in verse 5, and they called that place Bochim. There they offered sacrifice unto Yahuah, brothers and sisters, right? So remarkably, the angel of Yahuah here identifies himself as the one who brought the Israelites out of the land of Mizraim, Egypt, and led them into the promised land. Furthermore, the angel of Yahuah identifies himself as the one who made a covenant with the people of Israel, Yashara'el, which he will never break, right? In Judges 6:11-24, we again encounter the angel of Yahuah. So let's look at that, brothers and sisters. Okay, brothers and sisters, look at the screen. Judges 6:11-24. And there came an angel of Yahuah and sat under an oak which was in Ophrah, that pertained unto Joash the Ibizarite, and his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites. And the angel of Yahuah appeared unto him and said unto him, The Adonai is with thee, thou mighty man of valor. And Gideon said unto him, O my Adonai, if the Adonai be with us, why then is all this befallen us? And where be all his miracles which our fathers told us of, saying, Did not Yahuah bring us up from Mizraim, Egypt? But now Yahuah hath forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. And Yahuah looked upon him and said, Go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Yasharal from the hands of the Midianites. Have not I sent thee? And he said unto him, O my Adonai, wherewith shall I save Yasharal? Behold, my family is poor in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house. And Yahuah said unto him, Surely I will be with thee, thou shalt smite the Midianites as one man. And he said unto him, If thou have found grace in thy sight, then shew me a sign that thou talkest with me. Depart not hence, I pray thee, until I come unto thee and bring forth my present and set it before thee. And he said, I will tarry until thou come again. And Gideon went in and made ready a kid and unleavened cakes of an ephah of flour. The flesh he put in a basket, and he put the broth in a pot, and brought it out unto him under the oak, and presented it. And the angel of Eliyahu said unto him, Take the flesh and the unleavened cake, and lay them upon this rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. And the angel of Yahuah put forth the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the flesh and the unleavened cakes, and there rose up fire out of the rock, and consumed the flesh and the unleavened cakes. Then the angel of Yahuah departed out of his sight. And when Gideon perceived that it was an angel of Yahuah, Gideon said, Alas, O Adonai Eliyahu, for because I have seen an angel of Yahuah face to face. And Yahuah said unto him, Peace be unto thee, fear not, thou shalt not die. Then Gideon built an altar there unto the Adonai, and called it Yahuah Shalom. I am peace. Unto this day it is yet in Ophrah of Abizarite. You see, brothers and sisters. So we can see the angel of the Adonai, or the angel of Yahuah, is identified as none other than Adonai himself. Verses 14, 16, 20, and 25 and 27. In fact, Gideon asks for a sign to confirm that it really is Eliyahu who is speaking to him. Gideon prepares a sacrifice, and Eliyahu consumes it by bringing fire from the rock. What's remarkable is that it is only Eliyahu who is to be worshipped in this manner. Right? When Gideon sees the fire from the rock, he is terrified. He recognizes the implications of having seen Eliyahu face to face, see Exodus 33 and 20, but he is reassured that he is not going to die. Judges 13, 2-25 is the most remarkable of the appearance of the angel of Yahuah. Right, brothers and sisters, so we're going to look at that. Okay, brothers and sisters, take a look at your screen. We're going to take it from Judges 13, 2-25. And there was a certain man of Zorah of the family of the Danites, whose name was Manoah, and his wife was barren, and bare none. And the angel of Yahuah appeared unto the woman, and said unto her, Behold, now thou art barren, and bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. And therefore be aware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come on his head. For the child shall be a Nazarite unto Eliyahu from the womb, and he shall begin to deliver Israel out of the land of the Philistines. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of Eliyahu came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of Eliyahu, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he was, neither told he me his name. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and now drink no wine nor strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarite to Eliyahu from the womb to the day of his death. Then Manoah entreated the Adonai, and said, O my Adonai, let the man of Eliyahu which thou didst send come again unto us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And Eliyahu hearkened to the voice of Manoah, and the angel of Eliyahu came again unto the woman as she sat in the field, but Manoah her husband was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran and shewed her husband, and said unto him, Behold, the man hath appeared unto me that came unto me the other day. And Manoah arose and went after his wife, and came to the man, and said unto him, Art thou the man that speakest unto the woman? And he said, I am. And Manoah said, Now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child, and how shall we do unto him? And what shall we do unto him? Right? Manoah said, Now let thy words come to pass. How shall we order the child, and how shall we do unto him? And the angel of Yahuah said unto Manoah, Of all that I said unto the woman, let her be aware. She may not eat of anything that cometh out of the vine, neither let her drink wine or strong drink, nor eat any unclean thing. All that I have commanded her, let her observe. And Manoah said unto the angel of Yahuah, I pray thee, let us detain thee until we shall made ready a kid for thee. And the angel of Yahuah said unto Manoah, Though thou detain me, I will not eat of thy bread. And if thou wilt offer burnt offering, thou must offer it unto the Adonai. For Manoah knew not that he was the angel of Yahuah. And Manoah said unto the angel of Yahuah, What is thy name, that when thy saying come to pass, we may do thee honor? And the angel of Yahuah said unto him, Why askest thou thus after my name, seeing it is secret? So Manoah took a kid with a meat offering, and offered it upon a rock unto Yahuah. And the angel did wondrously, and Manoah and his wife looked on. For it came to pass, when the flame went up towards heaven from off the altar, that the angel of Yahuah ascended into the flame and of the altar, and Manoah and his wife looked on it, and fell on their face to the ground. But the angel did no more appearance to Manoah and his wife. Then Manoah knew that it was an angel of Yahuah. So you see, brothers and sisters, in verse 20, right, it says, For it came to pass, when the flame went up towards heaven from off the altar, that the angel of Yahuah ascended in the flames. Yeah? So he went into the flame, brothers and sisters, just like, and that's our same reminiscence of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when the Most High sent into the fire, right, brothers and sisters? The same scenario right here. So verse 23, But his wife said unto him, The Adonai were pleased to kill us, he would not have received a burnt offering and meat offering at our hands, neither would we have shewed us all these things, nor would as at this time have told us such things as these. And the woman bare a son, and called his name Samson. And the child grew, and Yahuah blessed him. And the spirit of the Adonai began to move him at times in the camp of Dan, between Zorah and Eshtaol, brothers and sisters, right? So Manoah is instructed in verse 16 to make his offering to the Adonai. The reason given is that Manoah did not realize that it was the angel of Yahuah. Manoah needed this explanation because he was going to offer this to the man, but did not even regard him as an angel, let alone the Adonai himself. So in verse 18, remind us of the wrestling match between the angel of the Adonai and Yaakov back in Genesis 32, in which the angel declines to give his name, instead saying, "Why do you ask my name?" The statement given in verse 18 of Judges 13, "It is beyond understanding," has also been rendered, "It is wonderful." This bears a striking resemblance in Yahuah 9 and 6, in which one of the names given to the promised incarnate divine Messiah is wonderful. Key. When Manoah and his wife make an offering to the Adonai, the angel of the Adonai is sent in the flames. This reminds us of the sacrifice of the Mashiach, who, being Elohim incarnate, was made a sacrifice unto the Father. The ascension of the angel of the Adonai in the flame, which rises from the burnt offering on the altar, carries much symbolic significance and undoubtedly represents the coming sacrifice of the Mashiach as an atonement for sin. Let those who have encountered the angel of Yahuah before them, Manoah and his wife, are fearful for their lives, right? Like those who had encountered the angel of the Adonai before them, Manoah and his wife are fearful for their lives as they recognize the implication of having seen Eliyahu face to face. So in the summary, brothers, we have seen that the angel of Yahuah is repeatedly identified as Eliyahu. The angel of Yahuah performs miraculous signs. People expect to die after having encountered the angel of Yahuah face to face, but none of them actually do die. The name of the angel of Yahuah is wonderful. Giving you clues, brothers and sisters. So the conclusion or discussion, who is the angel of Yahuah? As we read all of those accounts and pieced together the constellation of clues, it becomes evident that the angel of the Adonai is none other than the pre-incarnated Mashiach himself. This makes sense in the context of the Apostle John's description of Mashiach as the word of Eliyahu. Moreover, as John's Gospel explained, no one has ever seen Eliyahu but the one and only Son, who is himself Eliyahu, is in the closest relationship with the Father, has made him known. And as Hebrews 1 and 3 declares, the Son is the radiance of Eliyahu's glory and the exact representation of his being. Mashiach describes himself as the mouthpiece of Eliyahu on earth and the revelation to mankind of what Eliyahu is like. Right? You can see that in Matthew 11 and 27. In fact, all that Yahusha is and does interprets and explains who Eliyahu is and what he does. You can see that in John 14, 8 and 10. Furthermore, it is the angel of the Adonai or Yahuah who gives the command for the 50 rags to be taken off Joshua in Zechariah 3 and for him to be clothed in fine garment. The immediate context indicates that this is intended to symbolize the restoration of the priesthood of Israel. The text also symbolizes, however, Mashiach's clothing us with the garments of righteousness. Isaiah 61 and 10. The angel of Yahuah represents Christophany, a pre-incarnation appearance of Yahushua Mashiach. It also adds yet another example of the powerful and compelling cumulative case from the Bible, remarkable internal coherence and interconnectedness and phenomenon which can surely only be explained by the Bible's divine origin, brothers and sisters. Right, so it's been a while the Mashiach been visiting the earth, brothers and sisters, right? In the Old Testament, all through the Bible. This is why I tell you, for these people out here who talk against the triune Elohim, not understanding who and what it is and what it entails and involves, brothers and sisters. You see what I mean? So I always tell you all the time, study the scripture for yourself. Find out the truth for yourself, brothers and sisters, and know that Yahuah is a spirit, and they that worship him are worshiping in spirit and truth, and know that Yahushua Mashiach is a representation, an express person of his Father Yahuah. So he is part of the triune Elohim, the Father, who is Yahuah, the Son is Yahusha, and the Ruach HaKodesh is the Ruach HaKodesh that proceed from the Father and the Son. Right? So, is Yahusha HaMashiach the angel of Eliyahu? Yes. Some interpret the angel of Yahuah in the Old Testament as Yahushua HaMashiach, the pre-incarnate Son. Some interpret the angel of Yahuah in the Old Testament as Yahushua HaMashiach, the pre-incarnate son of Eliyahu. The angel of Yahuah is described as both similar to and distinct from the Adonai. And scholars debate whether the angel of Yahuah is an angel of Elohim himself. Some reasons why the angel of Yahuah is considered to be Yahusha includes messenger. The word angel means messenger, and Yahusha fits this description in John 8:18, where he says, I am he who testifies about myself, and the Father who sent me testify about me. In Galatians 4:14, Paul says, though my condition put you to the test, you did not scorn or despise me, but welcome me as an angel of Eliyahu, as Mashiach Yahusha. The angel of Yahuah established the old covenant on Mount Sinai, and Yahusha came as the Mashiach to establish the new covenant. On the cross of Calvary, the angel of Yahuah never appears in the New Testament after Yahusha took on flesh or after his resurrection. You notice that, right? Have you noticed that, brothers and sisters? All throughout the Old Testament, the angel of Yahuah, the angel of Yahuah. And as soon as when the New Testament comes in, the incarnation of the angel of Yahuah becomes flesh. And now is Yahushua Mashiach. So all throughout the Old Testament, Yahushua Mashiach was interacting with his people. First, I became familiar with the argument that the angel of Yahuah is Yahushua Mashiach, right? The Son in the Trinitarian doctrine. This argument is based on how the Bible uses the term Yahuah or the Lord or Adonai and the angel of Yahuah interchangeably, and how people treat the angel as if he were Eliyahu himself, brothers and sisters. So I hope you get a full understanding of the angel of Yahuah. The angel of Yahuah is Yahushua Mashiach, brothers and sisters. The word of Yah that became flesh and dwell amongst Yisrael, dwell amongst men. You see, brothers and sisters, so I hope this Shabbat lesson bless you and you expand your understanding of who the angel of Yahuah is. Alright, brothers and sisters, so on that note, Bruk Yahuah Tzeva Hope, Bruk Yahushua Mashiach, Shina, Vishina, blessed love and shalom.
Certain people are trying to Rasta creation, like big creation, welcome after, like me love. Certain people are trying to Rasta creation, like big creation, welcome after, like me